Reading. We're doing a timed run of my script, The Sign of Snow. These are my actor buddies, and
I love acting.
there's Mr. GP slightly in the corner. Okay. Are we all ready?
I am ready.
You know who you are, yeah?
I'm Robert Aston.
You are Vince Freeman.
Freeman.
I'm Robert.
If you make a mistake, just ignore it or carry on.
We'll just carry on.
You can slide out at the end of this scene. You can just like slowly.
Oh, I'm quite sure.
I only one of them.
Punchy, right?
What do you mean?
As in, like, I just have one line delivery, you know.
You're in all of it though. Yeah. Okay. I'm Robert Aston. Scene 1. Interior. House. Day. Feet walk through a door and the camera tracks them until they turn through a doorway. He walks in, but the audience do not see his face yet. We see extreme close-ups of his hands, shoes and neck. He takes a notebook out of the inside of his coat and he pulls out a picture of a woman, but it slips away. He twirls a pen around the fingers of his left hand. Another detective is crouched down. He's making notes on a pad before looking up at Vince Freeman. Morning, Vince.
Detective Freeman.
Sorry, yeah, Detective Freeman. Vince makes a quick note on his pad.
Cause of death. Brady?
Ethan stands and we see that his body covered head to toe by plastic sheeting. Jack Snow, 34, used to work the records department in Brixton but resigned due to stress. Found decapitated by officers responding to a 999 call.
What was the nature of the call?
Ethan refers to his notes. Made at 10:29, I quote, "I need help right now. They're coming for me. I need protection, please. I'll give you information. Just please don't let them find me," unquote.
I need protection. Protection from whom? Where are the responding officers?
Upstairs, talking to Samantha.
I want you to question them. Get their backgrounds and relationships with the victim. I also want to know his mental health status.
Ethan Brady starts flipping the page of his notebook. Okay, but I've still got some... His voice is stern and does not look directly at Ethan Brady.
Do your job, Brady.
Ethan Brady's arms drop to his side and there's a hint of frustration in his voice. Yes, sir. Ethan Brady walks out of the room and adjusts his suit. Vince Freeman crouches down in the front of the body. He puts on some latex gloves and removes the covering slightly from the body's arm. He rubs a light mark on the arm. It is the shape of a cross. From the background, a man in a suit crouches down next to him, looking at the body as well.
Morning, Freeman.
Robert Aston seems to have an air of wanting to help and respect Vince Freeman for his skills. Vince Freeman seems to respect him as well, perhaps for his professionalism and quality of work. We sense he respects him more than Ethan Brady.
What you got for me, Aston?
Some interesting stuff indeed. Cause of death, cutthroat. Markings and stress on the victim's trachea show that the head was removed after death. Might be nothing, but similar to an execution style of the Barretts.
The Barretts? I thought they were a Manchester division.
They ran Manchester, but disappeared once people started dying.
Why?
No one wants a line if it might put a bullet in your skull. Their powder is unique, laced with ketamine, found half a kilogram and dumped in an alley last week.
And now their signature execution.
Exactly. I think the capital is their next port of call.
Who led the case in Manchester? I might need to contact him.
You know him well. It was the chief inspector. He turned Moss Side into a war zone for about 2 years.
Vince Freeman nods and crouches back down to look at the body.
The marking here.
He gently touches the minute cross made on his forearm.
Is it a tattoo?
Robert Aston squints and looks closely.
No, I don't think so. It appears to have been drawn on. Recently as well. Any ideas?
Not yet.
He stands and notes down the fact on his pad. Ethan Brady walks back in. He peers at the notepad. Got something new? Vince Freeman snaps it shut.
No. I'll see you at the back of the office.
Vince Freeman walks out of the house and the camera closes in to Ethan Brady. He looks at Robert Aston, who pats him on the shoulder and leaves as well. Music plays as we close into his face and bridges into the next scene. Multiple locations, day and night. The pair of detectives work on the case. We can see a mix of work and pleasure. Vince Freeman is seen staying late at the office, passing out in front of TV, fully clothed, and a beer next to him. Ethan Brady is arguing with his wife and goes out for a cigarette. He sees a text asking to work late and kicks something. Vince Freeman struggling to piece it together, and Ethan Brady gives him a tea. They are seen questioning someone in the interview room, but they are noticeably frustrated as the suspect appears to know nothing. Vince Freeman looks at his notebook and quickly looks at a photo of a woman. His expression is almost longer. He is interrupted by Ethan Brady putting a file on his desk. He walks away in slow motion, and at the sign of snow stretches across the screen. Scene 3, exterior, London street, night. It is a wet, cold street in a decent-looking neighbourhood. Vince Freeman walks by alone, with his hands in his pocket of a tightly fastened coat. Vince Freeman walks past the phone box, and when he is roughly 15 yards past it, the phone rings. He stops dead and looks back before making his way over, tensely picking up.
Hello?
Anonymous voice. Don't talk, there's no time. I know the people you're looking for. Vince Freeman is flustered and looks around suspiciously.
Who is this?
Doesn't matter. I need you to think, detective. Think about the think about the Barretts. Think about how the Barretts stay ahead of you. Think about why you can't find anything, despite their product being in such abundance.
They're good at what they do?
You don't believe that? Chief Inspector Perotta is the best in the game. You and I both know he wouldn't let Manchester's biggest gang disband so easily.
No, he wouldn't. Unless they had help.
Yes, detective, we're getting somewhere. Who might be able to keep the police off their tail? How are they always just a few steps ahead? Vince's face is contorted in intense thinking and then changes to sudden realization. Panicked and astounded at the revelation.
The force. Someone inside could have tampered with the evidence. Known they were being searched. They could have told them anything and we wouldn't even know. Or maybe they didn't know someone on the inside.
Good.
But what about Snow? How does he fit into this?
A man works into the records department, sees a lot of information pass through his hands each day.
Then he sees something he shouldn't. I need protection. I can give you information.
Keep going.
The tattoo. Why would someone draw on him?
Someone else?
Unless he did it. Unless he was trying to tell us something.
Silence for a short time, but breathing could be faintly heard. Don't trust anyone, detective. You might just make it out of this alive. The line clicks and a ringing comes from the other end. The detective slowly moves the phone away from his ear and slots it back. Someone walks past the phone box, and once they've left, he dashes away and the noise of footsteps ring into the next scene. Interior, office, night. Vince Freeman sits at his desk in an office. It is dark outside, suggesting it being late, and the office is empty, apart from Ethan Brady, who sits opposite and clicks on the computer whilst jamming his fingers against the desk. Vince Freeman sits upright, looking down at sheets of paper with any sort of links they might have to the Barretts written on it. This include index ring, access to records, Moss Side, Manchester, the Barretts, written several times, inside job. I reckon I'm going to knock off now, grab something to eat along the way. Looked a bit shaken when you came back in, mate. Something wrong? Vince Freeman looks at him, his eyes wide, and his eyes flicker to the word phone call. He looks back, shakes his head, and looks back down towards the paper. Ethan stands up and hesitates, concerned for his partner. Listen, don't stress over this. They're obviously very good at what they do. If we don't catch them, that's just the way things go. And look at the Chief Inspector. He failed to do it, but 3 years later, he's leading the London force. He walks towards the exit and grabs his coat from a rack. Vince turns to Ethan in curiosity. Ethan starts putting on his coat.
How do you know about that?
I used to work with him on the case. Back when I was Manchester Division. Plus, it's not exactly a secret, is it? Vince fully turns to Ethan now.
Hang on. You've never mentioned that before. You worked with the Chief Inspector?
Ethan displays noticeable curiosity in his face and voice. Yeah, I was his assistant back when he was just a detective, like you, like us. Vince starts thinking and puts the end of a pen in his mouth. Looks down at his notebook briefly, then back towards Ethan.
What sort of work did you do for him?
Ethan is confused by the line of questioning and answers in an almost trivial manner. What sort of work? Nothing that exciting. He was mainly in the field, on the streets, you know. Most of the paperwork and admin stuff. Ethan Brady takes his and Vince Freeman's mugs back into the kitchen and puts them in the sink, all while Vince Freeman's staring intently at the notepad, calling into the kitchen.
When you say admin,
Ethan Brady is washing the cups. You know, just the boring stuff, property damage, arrest warrants, evidence filing, stuff like that. He writes down evidence filing and underlines inside job.
so you must have had level 5 clearing, complete access to the records.
Ethan Brady turns off the tap and looks back towards the door from which he came. Vince Freeman stares intently down at a notebook and sees drawing.
You have a tattoo, don't you, Detective?
Ethan's face narrows and he takes out his phone. He has texts we do not see the screen before he puts it down on the counter. Yes, the whole unit had one in fact. Ethan pulls back his sleeve and looks at the cross on his forearm. Freeman slips the keys between his knuckles and looks at the door, and slowly starts making his way towards it.
Every man has to make a choice, Ethan. You can make a good one, a decent one.
Ethan receives the text, looks at it, and puts the phone back down. You've got a good head on those shoulders, Vince. You don't want to lose it. The only choice lies with you.
I think you just made it for me.
Ethan takes a knife from the rack and walks into the other room. The camera slowly moves and focuses on his phone, which he left by the sink. A message flashes up and it says, eliminate him. The contract name is Andrew Perotta. End.
Pow.